Juventus win the Europa League Final over AS Roma. Paulo Dybala, former Juventino, up against Juventus. 7 seasons at Juventus. Wojciech Szczesny, former keeper of Roma, for 1 year on loan, can defeat the Gallarossi in the Europa League Final with Juventus. He had a total of 81 appearances with Roma. If Juventus win their 81st game in the Europa League to win the final, it's going to happen with Wojciech Szczesny as goalkeeper. To reveal, the last time an Italian team won the final of the Europa was Parma in 1998-1999, 3-0. Juventus can win its next Europa League 24 years later. An Italian side will win the Europa. In the gematria, the practice according letters and words into numbers, it is Rome, that's gematria 24. It's Juventus, that's gematria 24. Juventus can win the Europa 24 years since Parma won over at Russia. It is Russia, that's gematria 24. It's Parma, that's 22. It's AS Roma that can make the final, that has gematria of 22. Juventus to win. Chiesa, number 7, to win the final. His father, Enrico Chiesa, won the final with Parma, actually scored in the final of 1999. It is Roma that have 4 losses in the Europa. They had a total of 2 losses in the Europa Conference League last year. Jose Mourinho's 7th loss in Europe can happen against Juventus in Chiesa, number 7. Juventus, all-time in European competitions, can improve to 2 Champions League trophies and 4 Europa League trophies. Again, the next Italian winner 24 years later, from 1999. And again, you see right here, that's Russia and Juventus. That has gematria 24. Ajax lost 2-4 in penalties to Juventus in 1996. And Juventus have a total of 25 losses all time in the UEFA Europa League. 25. And they can win the final at Budapest, entering with 25 losses. And the last final was at Moscow, the last time an Italian winner did win the Europa League. Parma Calcio is gematria 92. Juventus have 9 goals and 2 allowed in the UEFA Europa League this year after the draw against Sporting Club de Portugal in the Europa League this year for Juventus. It's 9 goals, 2 allowed. Parma Calcio, last Italian winner of the UEFA Champions League. Inter lose the Champions League final, then former Inter manager Mourinho loses to Juventus in the Europa League final. So in the Europa League, they can lose for the 44th time against the champions of the Europa League. Champions is gematria of 44. To go down losing to Juventus in the UEFA Europa League. Losing for the 97th time, 96 losses against the winner of the 96 final. Juventus defeated Amsterdam Ajax. Amsterdam is gematria 94, same gematria as Hungary, the side of the final, same gematria as Parma defeating Marseille. So Roma are going to lose the Europa League. They're going to lose to Juventus. Amsterdam's Football Club Ajax 97, Roma's 97th loss in European competition to Juventus. It would be another European trophy for Juventus to win the Europa. The 10th winner of the Europa League has to be the J. Has to be the J. By club, by nation, 10 is Juventus, is J, is founded in the year of the Rooster, 1897. Juventus improved to 4-1 in the Europa League Final, winners of the 41st European Cup, winning 4 out of 5 Europa League Finals. Jesus Dimacia 45, former Juventus, Dybala-Mourinho 45. Wojciech Szczesny, former AS Roma. How about his birthday, April the 18th, to the Europa? "43 days, champion 43, champions Dimacia 44, 6 weeks and 2 days. He's from Poland. It's Poland, that's Dimacia 62. Poland is Dimacia 62. So, Wojciech Szczęsny. Wojciech is Dimacia of Hungary, going up against his former team. Szczesny under 37 and 38, Portugal, where he just won against Sporting after returning after suffering a chest discomfort in the first leg against Sporting Club de Portugal. Juventus to win the scripted Europa League against Jose Mourinho. It's always been in the cards for Juventus to win the Europa League, to qualify for the Champions League, defeating AS Roma. How about 5 matches and 3 wins for Juventus against Sevilla with Massimiliano Allegri? Massimiliano Dimacia 53. Last final of a European competition in 2017 at Cardiff, Wales. Cardiff, Wales, Dimacia 53. Roma to lose the UEFA Europa League. And Roma last Europa League final against Inter. Inter's Dimacia 30. Juventus win their next Europa League 30 years later from 1993 as Roma appears for the first time since beating Inter. So Juventus win 30 years later, and Roma appear in their first final since facing off against Inter in 1991. So Roma are known to lose the final. And don't forget that it's Pogba, that's Dimacia of 41, 4-1 in the Europa League final.